Walmart is not having a great year in 2023. And I'm not really sure if 2024 will be a great year either. Shoplifting in America is becoming a professional career. If you look at videos online talk about professional shoplifting, no wonder these big box brick and mortar retail stores are just not making any money. Now, Walmart has closed about 23 stores. They just simply are not making any more money. Let's see where most of these stores are being closed. Okay, you have one in Arkansas, one in DC, two in Georgia, one in Florida, one in Hawaii. Not really that bad until you get to Illinois. You got a whole entire list of like 8 Walmarts, guys. And all of these are in the Chicago area except 2. Seriously, Plainfield, and I cannot pronounce this town. You have 2 towns in Illinois that are not in the Chicago area that have closed down. 6 in the Chicago area and some of the surrounding suburbs that are very close have all closed down. Chicago is facing a massive food desert. These malls just filled with food and different items. They can't stay here anymore. Look at the other states, right? You only have 1, 2, and like maybe 3 in the future, but like most of these states don't have stores closing, and most of the states who have stores closing only have 1 or 2 stores. And then you have Illinois has 8, with 6 of them being in the Chicago area. This shows you how bad the shoplifting incident is, and it's creating massive amounts of food deserts. Another crazy thing is Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, is setting aside $150 million of care for migrants in 2024. Now, it's less than 2023, but $150 million is a crazy high number, considering that Chicago has a population of 2 million, and the South Side has huge amounts of land just food deserts, which are essentially just massive neighborhoods where in like a 5 to 7 mile radius, there's not a single grocery store for fresh produce. So many of the locals are just stuck with junk food. And if you just try to get like a ripe apple, a banana, or a cabbage, you're driving like 10-15 minutes, which discourages healthy eating. And now the city is exploring things like a city-owned grocery store, which typically don't really last well. This is almost like the USSR. With these government-run grocery stores, they are losing a lot of money. But if Chicago is willing to spend $150 million on migrants, I mean, you could at least set aside like $10 to $20, $30 million to open like these grocery stores that are not even profitable at all. Now, they have been exploring options for a government-run grocery store for about like 3 to 5 months at this point, and they still can't open one. And many people are really frustrated right now because Chicago, some people who are applying for public housing, they're not getting it because there's so many migrants. The south side of Chicago has a lot of crime and a lot of food deserts, but the city isn't really solving it. The city has a lot of money, but they're just not really spending it well. And many locals and residents who live in the south side of Chicago are really frustrated about this. They all say the same thing. They feel like they're forgotten. It seems like the government, the council, and everything are just putting so much money on the migrant crisis. They're getting a bunch of these migrants in, but they can't even take care of their own people. This is why many locals in Chicago, when you ask them, how is the city run? What would you rate it from a scale of 1 to 5? Many just give it a 1-star rating. And if you check out this, yes, there seems to be a deadline for migrants to leave city-run shelters, but there's even more migrants coming in. And when you have a lot of these migrants just sleeping on the streets because they're evicted from shelters, you're going to have to provide more money to provide permanent housing. And the city's already pretty strained itself. Remember, Chicago isn't a super big city in international standards. This city only has a population of a little over 2 million people. And when you add in 30 to 50,000 people in a span of just a few months, the city is about to collapse. This is a massive spike up in migrants who typically are individuals who need a lot more help because they literally come from another country and finding a job, they need help. Their kids need education. They need healthcare, shelter, and food. Things that Chicago right now are literally going broke over. And this is what's happening to a lot of these sanctuary states. Same thing is happening in Denver. They took in so many people, though their city is only having like a 710,000 population. New York City, not any better, right? So let's see what happens. These food deserts are basically everywhere, right? And it's pretty scary to see so many of these stores closing in Chicago. We got the Whole Foods closing down, and I'm pretty sure you won't get any sort of grocery store opening up in these food deserts. Shoplifting is a very common incident in many of these parts of Chicago, and crime is everywhere, right? The police presence is barely none. There is no pharmacies. There's even pharmacy deserts, by the way, in Chicago. And a lot of these grocery deserts, supermarket deserts, it could be solved with maybe just a few openings by the city council. Government stores are not making any money, but so what? If you open one of these stores, it will definitely help the citizens a lot. So thanks for watching, guys. Comment below. What do you guys think about this? And see you later.